Okay, number 7. Omar wants to purchase a new bicycle for $134.45 and helmet for $22.55. If the sales tax rate is 8.25%, what will be the total amount of Omar's purchase, including sales tax? What do you think you do?
Add up the two numbers.
Add those two up and then do what?
And do a proportion.
Mm-hmm.
Or find the sales tax.
So find the sales tax with the percentage, right? And what do you do with sales tax?
And then add that.
There you go. Good job. Number 8.
No.
Okay. Again, if I move on and you're not ready, you can always go back. Okay, everybody go to number 8. You can go back to number 7. But we're going to move on so we can make sure we get done. At least I get done reading. And then if you need to come in here and pause and finish up, you can do that. Number 8. Everybody look at number 8. A triangle has angles that measure 54.6 degrees and 17.8 degrees. Which equation can be used to find the value of x, the measurement of the third angle in a triangle? I'd like to ask you a question. What do all the angles in a triangle equal? What? 180. Pick the answer and let's move on to number 9. If you pay attention to the answer choices, there's only one possible one that equals 180. Number 9. Letitia has a homework assignment and she must solve the equation negative 7x plus 2 equals 51. She asks her friends for help and they give her the following solutions. Which friend is correct? Paul, Joe, Tara, or Rita? What is the first thing you should do? Write it down and then solve the equation. Write it down and then solve the equation. Don't sit there going eeny, meeny, miny, mo back and forth between two because you think you're right. Write it down. Yes, I can. Letitia has a homework assignment, and she must solve the equation negative 7x plus 2 equals 51. She asks her friends for help, and they give her the following solutions. There's Paul says x equals 2, Joe x equals negative 8, Tara x equals 7, Rita x equals negative 7. Which friend is correct? Paul, Joe, Tara, Rita. Alex, you better make 100. Number 10. Number 10. Carrie bought a rectangular piece of fabric that cost $3.25 per square foot. The piece of fabric was 4 feet long and 3 feet wide. Carrie had a coupon that took 5% off the price of the fabric. Which expression represents how much Carrie's discount is for the piece of fabric? So we're looking for how much the discount is. First of all, how do we find out how many square feet the piece of fabric is? What? This is 4 feet long and 3 feet wide. You were looking for the square footage. What is the square footage?
How many feet?
What is it?
7,
12. It's 12 square feet. And how much per square foot?
3.25.
What do you do there? If 1 square foot is 3.25, how do you find 12? You multiply times 3.25. And then it's looking for how much the discount is. How much is the discount? 5%. You just have to turn 5% into a decimal. Yes, it's that easy. Just pick it. The one that has 5% as a decimal. Multiplying times 3.25 times 12. Number 12. Which statement can be represented by the equation 4D plus 5 equals 29? A, Marvin worked 4 hours one day plus an additional 5 hours for a total of 29 hours. B, Marvin worked 9 hours a day for a total of 29 hours. C, Marvin worked 4 days plus 5 hours for a total of 29 hours. D, Marvin worked 4 hours a day plus an additional 5-hour day for a total of 29 hours. Number 12. Which graph shows the solution to the equation 6 plus 4x equals negative 10? What should you do first? Write it down. Write it down and solve the equation.
Can you put back to the number line, because it's hard to.
I'm sorry, yes. I sure can. The first one, I think the dots, let me mark them for you. There's the dot on that one, and here's the dot on this one, and here's the dot on this one, and here's the dot on this one. Is that better? Dylan, what are you doing? You done, Sierra? Okay. Number 13. A 60-gallon tank is half full of water when it begins to leak at a rate of 2 gallons per minute. Which equation provides T, the number of minutes it takes a tank to become empty? How full is the tank right now? How much is in it?
30 gallons.
There you go. How many?
30.
Did you read the question?
Oh.
Those of you that said 60? It's half full and it's leaking. Choose the correct answer. Let's move on to 14. Number 14. A football player can run 30 yards in 4.5 seconds. Which equation is used to find R, the number of yards he can run in a second? So I would write a proportion. And I know that he can go 30 yards in how long? And it's asking me for a second, which would be 1 second, right? That's your X, or R. And then once you solve that, or once you get the equation from that, once you cross multiply, that's all you have to do. You're just gonna have to match it to the correct answer over on the left or the right. Number 15. I'll give you a couple minutes. Okay, number 15. At the end of the football season, the Raccoons won 4 more than 2 times as many games as the Muskrats won. Which of these could be used to determine R, the number of games the Raccoons won in terms of M, the number of games the Muskrats won? Again, if you want me to read it again, I'll be glad to. Silas, you better make 100. What number are you on?
19. Only 4 ahead of you.
Only 4.
Yeah. That started before you started reading.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. I sure can. At the end of the football season, the Raccoons won 4 more than 2 times as many games as the Muskrats. Which of these could be used to determine R, the number of games the Raccoons won, in terms of M, the number of games the Muskrats won? Number 16. Ready? Laura has $5 but needs more money to buy a new bike. She decides to mow lawns in the neighborhood for $10 a piece to earn money. Which of the following tables shows the amount of money Laura will have Y if she mows X lawns? So I thought I'd help you out and write the equation here because this is kind of slope and we haven't done that yet. But it's going to be Y equals 10X plus 5. And what I would do is go through each of these charts here and plug in for X, right? And then plug in for Y and see if you get a right answer. You ready for number 17? No. Okay. Yes.
Are the answers gonna delete on this?
I don't think so, but I would write them down anyway. Number 17. A number cube is rolled 3 times. What is the probability that an even number will come up on all 3 rolls? So this one we've not done yet this year. So how many sides are on a number cube? 6. And how many of them are even?
3.
So let's simplify that first, right? What does that simplify to? 1/2. So we're done with this. So that's roll number 1. And then what's the probability on roll number 2? And on roll number 3? It's 1/2. So how do you find a compound probability? You multiply. Remember how to multiply fractions, right? And moving on. Number 18. According to these 2 circle graphs, which statement is correct? F, 10 sixth graders like English the best. G, the number of 6th graders who like math the best is equal to the number of 7th graders who like math the best. H, the number of 6th graders who like science the best is equal to the number of 7th graders who like English the best. J, the number of 7th graders who like social studies the best is equal to twice the number of 6th graders who like math the best. So first, we got to go up here and read these. Favorite subject of 50 6th graders. And this is favorite subject of 100 7th graders. What is 20% of 100? 20. And 25%? Good. And 40%? And 15%?
15.
Good. Here's the one that's a little bit harder. What is 40% of 50?
10.
It's not 10. It's half. This is half, right? So what's half? This is a little trick. 20. And what's 30%? 15. And this one?
10.
And this one?
5.
Good. Now you can go back through the answer choices and figure out which one is correct. Everybody ready?
Yes.
For number 19. The circle graph below shows a percentage of paint color sold last year at the Main Street Hardware and Paint Store. If 240 gallons of gray paint were sold last year, what was the total number of gallons of paint sold? What is it asking you for? The total. It is asking you for the total. How do you think you're going to solve this?
Proportion.
Yeah. Write a proportion with percent, right? With 100. You're looking for it gives you the gray. It gives you the gray. So what percentage are you going to use? 15. Ready for number 20? Marion surveyed people coming out of a Mexican restaurant and asked them their favorite kind of food. 80% of them said Mexican food was their favorite. Marion concluded that Mexican food was the favorite food of all the people in her town. Which is the best explanation for why her conclusion may not be valid? First of all, what do you think people are going to say when they come out of a Mexican food place? That's their favorite. What about people that come out of a Italian place? Yeah, that's their favorite, right? So we're looking for why it may not be valid. F, Marion did not interview during the daytime. G, Marion did not survey a random sampling of people throughout the town. H, the survey was not done with only people over 21. And we're moving because you should know. Number 21. Sandra has gone on vacation with her family. Sandra cannot remember which day she will be returning, but she does remember that she will not be returning on Saturday. The probability that she will return on a Wednesday is 1 out of 6. What is the probability that she will not return on a Wednesday? We are simply looking for the opposite. Instead of making it 6 days, think about it as 6 cookies. Okay, do not say this out loud. I'm just going to say this to you. For example, if I had 6 cookies and you ate 1 out of 6, how many did you not eat is the answer. So we haven't done that yet this year. Number 22. You ready? Karina will flip a nickel 100 times. How many times should Karina expect to get tails when she flips a nickel? 25 out of 100, 50 out of 100, 60 out of 100, 75 out of 100. What part of the nickel is tails?
The back
What percentage?
half.
Half. Okay, half. There you go. Let's look at number 23. Marcy sells tickets at the swimming pool. The first day, she sold 50 tickets. She keeps records of tickets sold each day. Child male, 18, child female, 15, adult male, 5, and adult female, 12. Based on the information in the table, which is the most reasonable prediction of the number of adult female tickets Marcy will sell out of the next 100 ticket sales? It's another one that's probability. I would write a proportion. And how many adult female did she sell? 12. Out of how many? How many? How many? 50. So if 12 out of 50, how many out of 100? This is not hard. You ready for 24? Which of these best represents the sample space associated with tossing a coin 2 times? So we're going to go through this kind of together. So if I have a coin in my hand and I flip it once, what's it possible I'm going to land on? Heads. And then I flip it again, what's it possible I'm going to land on? So we got heads, tails, right? Write that down, heads, tails. Like this. Okay, and then let's flip it again. What's the possibilities? Heads, and then what else could we land on again? We already did heads, tails. Heads, heads. You could get heads, heads. Write that down. And then I flip it again. I could have got tails and then tails. Good. And then I could get tails, heads. That's right. Tails first and then heads. And I think that's all the outcomes. So hopefully you can pick the correct answer. It has to have 2 in all of them. Number 25. The Empire State Building is 1,250 feet tall, and the Chrysler Building is 925 feet tall. Mark is making a scale model of the buildings. If he makes his model of the Empire State Building 50 inches tall, how many inches tall should he make his model of the Chrysler Building? I would write a proportion. What are your words? Empire and, how do you say that? Chrysler. I would do Empire over Chrysler and write a proportion. As I'm not asking, write it down. And how tall was the Empire State Building? 1250. And how tall was the Chrysler Building? So 1250 over 925 equals, where do you think the 50 goes? With which one? The Empire. That's right. Then solve that proportion. Ready for 26?
Mhm.
I'll give you a few minutes. I haven't done similar figures, so. All right, 24. In the drawing below, triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. So what that means, similar figures, they have the same shape, they are not the same size, they have the same angles. So for example, angle B is the same as angle E, okay? And then they are proportional on their sides. So, which of the following is true? Angle A is similar to angle F. Angle B is similar to angle E. Line AB, that means this one, is the same as EF, which would be this one. Or line BC, which would be this one, is the same as DF, which would be this one. Pick the correct answer, please. Huh? Or 27? I don't have a chart. Well, I do. Yeah, right over there. You can just go sit right over there at that table and use that one. It's going across the table. Number 27. I need you guys to pay serious attention. Probably the most missed question on the test. If 8 is equal to 50% of x, what is the value of x? I would write a proportion. Yeah, because 8 is equal to 50% of x. So I would write a proportion because 8 is equal to 50%. Ready for 28? The youth group is making cakes for the church holiday party. Each cake can serve 24 people. What other information is needed to determine how many cakes they need to make? What are they trying to find? How many cakes they need to make, right? Do they need the number of people each cake mix will serve? The number of people planning to attend? The cost of the cake mixes they plan to buy? Number 29. If y equals mx and y is 12 when x is 4, then what is the constant of proportionality in this equation? Write it down. What are you going to write for y? 12. And what are you going to write in for x? 4. And then solve it. Not too hard, I don't think. Number 30. Juan bought a 5-pound bag of apples for $4.30. Which bag represents apples at the same price per pound as the bag of apples that Juan bought? A 4-pound bag for $3.44, a 10-pound bag for $8.15, a 3-pound bag for $2.76, or a 2-pound bag for $1.75. I would find it is what it is for 1 pound of the ones they are originally talking about right here, because 5 pounds, it gives you how much? $4.30, and then figure out which one of these matches for 1 pound. And how do you find out what it is for 1 pound? You can write a proportion, or what's the operation? Divide. We ready for 31? Everybody ready? A map has a scale of 2 inches equals 25 miles. Town A is 135 miles from town B. Which equation can be used to calculate the distance between the 2 towns on the map? I would write inches over miles and write a proportion and then match it to what's over there. Number 32. The gravity on the surface of the moon is 0.17 of the gravity of the surface gravity on Earth. If Jack weighs about 156 pounds on Earth, what would be his weight on the moon? What do you think you do? Huh? You can. You can do the moon and the Earth. And the moon is, well, 1 pound on the, so on Earth, he weighs 156 pounds. It's not. I'm going to tell you what to do. You do that. What's that say? Multiply. You multiply. 0.17 times 156. Number 33. Number 33. In 1 year, there were a total of 13,332 kidney transplants performed in the United States. Based on this data, about how many kidney transplants were performed each day? Round to the nearest whole number. Because you can't do half of a kidney transplant, can you? Nope, we're going to round to the nearest whole number. So, what do you think your words are?
Days.
Days and transplants. Yeah, I would do days and transplants. Write a proportion. 1 year is how many days? 365. And they did how many transplants? Good. Ready for the next one?
No.
No? Okay. $34? Again, you can go back. Directions. Read the diagram below shows the different sets of real numbers are related. Use the diagram to answer any questions that follow. The number -4 is an integer. According to the diagram, which sets contain -4 as a member? F, integers, whole numbers, natural numbers, and rational numbers. G, integers and rational numbers only. H, integers only. J, integers and whole numbers only. What numbers are rational? All of them. And number 35. A rectangular field is 348 inches long and 7 yards wide. What is the perimeter of the field in feet? I am telling you to draw the rectangle. It will not hurt you. You can draw it. And what information do they give you? Inches and yards. What do they ask you for? Feet. So what do you think you have to do first?
Yards and inches to feet.
Yep, convert both of these to feet. How many inches are in 1 foot? 12. And how many feet are in 1 yard? How many? How many? How many feet are in 1 yard?
3.
3. Good. So you're going to convert both of those first and then figure out what's it asking you for. What's it asking you for? Perimeter. Good. Everybody finish that one? Number 36. Which Venn diagram correctly describes the relationship between whole numbers and integers? F, because whole numbers and integers have no numbers in common. G, because some whole numbers are not integers. H, because all integers are whole numbers. J, because all whole numbers are integers. $37. The Venn diagram below represents two sets of numbers. Which of the following would be the best label for the set represented by the shaded circle? A, whole numbers. B, rational numbers. C, negative numbers. D, natural numbers. Ready for 38? No? Did somebody say no? No, are you awake? Okay. Number 38. Find the constant of proportionality when x equals 2 and y equals 1.5. What is the formula for constant of proportionality? Where can you find the formula for constant of proportionality? The reference chart. Write it down. Write it down and then fill them in. You can look it up on the reference chart, find the formula. It says constant of proportionality. Write it down and then fill it in. It tells you what x equals and what y equals.
In the extra spaces on that one, do we have to put 0?
I don't think so. Number 39. We're actually going to stop at 38. You guys can staple your papers together and turn them in. We'll pick up there Friday. And there won't be a Zoom tomorrow, those of you that are on there. There'll be a Zoom Friday when the second period meets again, which will be, let me see, 10:58. That's when the Zoom will be Friday, will be 10:58. Staple your papers.
Hold on. What'd you say?